You did really awesome for us having never played that song before.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I just felt it. He said he could feel it, and I just felt it too. Did you feel it?
I really didn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could sing it quite as good as Craig, but not bad. So what should we play next? Something a little more rockin', maybe. Like, Pretty Noose. Hey. Steve? You awake? Are you having a flashback again?
Oh, what? No, sorry, man. No, sorry, I'm still just kind of bummed out.
Don't be sad. You basically had the beat. It was really close. Like, not exactly the same, but it was good enough.
No, not about the song. Since when do I care about live? We're never going to play one of their songs live. No, I was thinking about Julian.
Still?
He totally spazzed on me.
You really wimped out, man.
Well, I felt kind of bad. And terrified.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on his hit list.
Oh, crap. We gotta get me off his hit list.
No, that's just an expression. He doesn't actually have a hit list.
What if he does?
Or does he?
He's a total badass. You remember all his guns?
That was a lot of guns.
That wasn't even all of them.
Really? Why would you need more guns than that?
I don't know.
You can't even hold all those guns. How many guns can you hold? Maybe 2?
That's not the point. If there's a way to hold more than 2, Julian knows it.
Yeah, but he's not gonna kill you. He was a good guy, remember? He was a Navy SEAL.
That doesn't matter. Sometimes it's the best guys that go bad. Combat veteran gets wronged, comes back for revenge, in this case, me, and then spends the rest of his days fighting crime and ridding the world of evil.
Sounds like you've been reading those comics that you got over there.
Obviously I haven't been. That's the problem.
Overactive imagination. That's what I call it.
I guess I better at least familiarize myself with what's in those boxes if I'm going to use those comics to buy things. How the heck was I supposed to know the Spider-Man #1 and the first Spider-Man comic aren't the same thing?
Steve. You see, in the olden days, they would print a run of comic book booklets. And if they all sold out, then they would do another printing to sell some more. But guess what? Those new versions from the second print, they're not worth as much. Obviously.
No, that's not.
You don't really know commerce, do you, Steve?
You have no idea what you're talking about. The Spider-Man comic is called The Amazing Spider-Man, and my uncle had the first 150 or so issues in those boxes, plus like the first 10 summer specials or whatever they are. But before Amazing Spider-Man #1 came out, Spider-Man was in a different comic, and that comic, which came out first, is the really valuable one. Like 5 times more valuable, Julian said.
I mean, that's his mistake for just believing some guy who looks like you, who says that he's got Spider-Man, the most valuable Spider-Man comic. Don't you think he should have actually checked first?
That's the scary part. He thinks he did see it that day. But now he admits that he was probably delusional with excitement and he was just seeing things. But that's what's freaking me out. He sounds unstable.
Maybe you can just make up for it by throwing other comics in there and, pad it out.
That's what I asked. But he said that wasn't good enough because he was excited for the other one.
Jeez. For such a big guy, he sure is acting like a baby. I thought the bigger you are, the less of a baby that you act like.
Oh, we can kiss this place goodbye. And our instruments too.
Oh, our instruments are gonna get it? That's not fair. Why me? I didn't rip them off. You did.
So you also think I ripped them off?
Wow, those were his words. Not mine.
You seem skeptical.
I know you. I know I trust you, but I'm not sure that other people should trust you.
He wants rent and cash this month instead. Did you hear him say that?
Yeah, I did. How much is it anyway? I got a jar of change at home.
$600!
Oh, never mind.
Well, thanks for nothing, Scott. I don't have $600. Not to be spending on rent anyway. What if he evicts me?
Oh no. You're not gonna get me to worry about that again. You had me worried about that all last year. And for what? Nothing.
Well, it wasn't for nothing. We almost lost this place. And then we didn't, because we saved the day.
I'm not gonna get sucked into the trap of negative thinking like you.
Well, I'm glad you got over it so easily.
100% positive affirmations.
Mr. Shimano and his Courtney Love wannabe girlfriend haunted my dreams all summer.
To be honest, I'm a little bit more worried about this meeting with Andy.
Why?
He's probably gonna be here any minute.
Stop that. He's not coming for like an hour. And why are you worried?
Well, I'm kind of nervous. He's a big star now.
I'm not nervous. I'm going to treat him like the same little kid I always have. In fact, since he dissed us in that song, I'm probably going to punch him out the second he walks in that door.
No. Are you crazy? Don't do that. Don't punch him. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, I'm at least going to tear him a new butthole for stealing the melody from Black Hole Sun and using it in his song. Who does he think he is? Puff Daddy?
Well, just try not to be mean to him, okay? Because, I think maybe he could get us signed to his label, and that's maybe why he's coming here. I'm hoping so.
That probably is why. Or to apologize. I can tell you this much. If he doesn't do one of those two things, the second he walks in that door, he's getting a beating from me. So that's another thing that's going to be on your conscience.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that lately, Steve, to be honest, and I don't really see how this is all my fault. I don't really even know the guy. I didn't even know he was from Bellevue. Did you know that?
Of course I knew that.
Well, I didn't. So if you knew that, maybe you should have said something.
He's Frank's cousin.
You don't even let us take gigs on that side of town. And then you let a rapper from there into your house and then blame all the aftermath on me? That's not fair.
Oh, that's not fair, huh? Let me tell you what I don't think is fair, Scott. A little boy grows up in Seattle. Ordinary childhood, but in first grade, he discovers the music of a band called Nirvana. And he can't wait to go to school and show it to his best friend. So he does. And his best friend says, "Hey, why don't we have a sleepover at my house? Bring the tape. We can listen to it." So they do. And they love it. And then a couple months later, the boy's best friend says, "Hey, come over to my house for a sleepover. I got a tape of another awesome band." So he does that. And they listen to it. And it's Alice in Chains. And they love it. And the boy and his friend spend the rest of their childhoods on a musical journey, discovering other bands like Soundgarden and Melvins and Mudhoney and Pearl Jam and a bunch of other bands that don't exist anymore, like Green River and Mother Love Bone and Malfunction and Skin Yard. And they realize their town is the best town in the world for music.
Yeah.
And life is great because the music is great. And the boy and his friend live in the best city in the world. But when they become teenagers, they realize that the direction that modern rock is heading is not the direction they want it to go. So they form a band and they decide they will single-handedly save rock and roll. So they get started. And they spend the next 25 years honing their craft, taking gigs, learning the catalog of the big four so that they can play any gig, no matter how crappy the gig goes. It doesn't matter. They learn from it. And they play lots of gigs. And they play awesome gigs. And they play a couple of bad gigs. But they learn from the bad gigs. And they play a whole bunch of awesome gigs. But even if 1 out of 10 gigs suck, the audiences don't care. Because the boy and his friend are working on making an album. And then one day, out of the goodness of their hearts, they invite a rapper from Bellevue to come jam with them. And he learns much from them. And then he stabs them in the back by getting a record deal first. And to top it off, he disses them in his first hit single. Now that's the kind of thing that doesn't sound that fair to me, Scott. Does that sound fair to you?
No. That sounds like the most unfair thing I can imagine.
Yeah, me too. But nobody is going to feel sorry for us because we were lucky enough to be born in the best city in the world.
We need to finish our album.
That'll be easy if Andy gives us this deal. The label will pay for the studio time.
Yeah. But what if he's not offering a deal? What if he's only here to apologize?
We'll get discovered at one of our next gigs. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Any day now, the Sub Pop guys are gonna be there. Mark my words.
Well, you've been holding out for this Sub Pop train for quite some time, Steve, and I'm not sure it might not ever happen. And that's not a bad thing, because there's a lot of different options out there. You never know which way is going to work. And if you just get stuck up on one thing, it's not going to always go that way. It might happen a different way. So maybe Sub Pop maybe that's just not the right label for us this time. You know?
Then what do you suggest?
Well, Rick actually said to me last week that he thinks we could record the whole album in here.
Now I know you really have no ideas if you're defaulting to something Rick told you.
Rick's pretty smart for a dumb guy.
Yeah, maybe sometimes, but not that day.
But he said we could record the whole album here.
He was probably high when he said that. This isn't a recording studio. We got a crappy old PV, crappy speakers, crappy mics. The only good stuff we got is our patch cords.
Rick says he knows a guy that could record the whole thing for us here. And he would use our computer. And he would just, we would pay him for the program that he puts on there and his time. And then that's it. And then, we have an album. So we don't even have to rent studio time. We don't have to get a label. We're bypassing all of that. Steve, this is the future, man. Do you want to be part of the future or part of the present?
He told me about that friend too. I don't know though, it just sounds so unorthodox. Besides, since when do we listen to Rick?
Oh yeah, never. You know what's never a bad idea though? Practicing. Want to just practice the whole album through from start to finish right now? Go.
Wait till the song's done!
No! You stop! Oh hey, Andy. How's it going?
Are these the same punks that the Birdman had to deal with when he was down south?
Nah, these are different punks. Listen, I got some business to deal with these guys. Why don't you wait in the Cybertruck?
Okay, bro.
Nice to see you, meet you. Is that a record label guy?
Frank, tell you guys why I'm here?
You want to sign us to your label, don't you?
What? Hell no. My stepbrother's niece is having a Sweet 16 party, and they're into that rock and roll shit you guys play.
Oh,
They need a band for the party.
that's way worse.
I don't know, man. Sweet 16? We don't really do underage parties.
For you, Andy, we'll do it though. Where is it?
It's out in Bellevue,
Oh,
Bridal Trails neighborhood,
cool.
where I used to grow up.
I thought we didn't really do gigs in Bellevue.
Just stay out of this, Scott. The men are talking. Our usual 90s set list?
No. It's a pretty specific set list. She loves the Cranberries.
I thought we didn't really do Cranberry songs, right, Steve?
We don't, but for you, Andy, we'll make an exception. Gin Blossoms. Goo Dolls. Champagne Supernova? That's an 8-minute piece of crap. You want us to stand on stage for 8 minutes pretending to be the Gallagher brothers?
I don't think so, Steve, because there's no drummer in the Gallagher brothers.
These just really aren't the type of 90s rock songs we play.
90s rock is 90s rock.
No, 90s rock is not 90s rock.
No, it's not.
You got Bare Naked Ladies on here. Crying by Aerosmith? These are total cheeseball 90s rock songs. Cats in the Cradle? That's Harry Chapin. Ugly Kid Joe covered that in the 90s, but that's the 70s. I'll tell you what, Andy, we'll come up with our own list of cheeseball 90s rock songs. Like some Dishwalla and Better Than Ezra. Your niece will love them.
Who do you idiots think you are telling me what you're gonna play?
No, sorry.
Sorry.
Those are the songs Sequoia wants. Those are the songs Sequoia's gonna get.
I'm sorry, Andy. I don't think there's any way we can take this gig. There's a Corey Hart song on here.
Corey Hart?
He's an 80s guy, so we probably couldn't even play that song if we wanted to. Plus, Savage Garden? We're not sellouts.
Honestly, Steve, I didn't want you guys for this gig. You guys are dicks. But you're also the best in town. You don't want it, I don't give a crap. I'll go ask Carrot and Krang. I'm sure they'll jump at the chance.
How much does it pay?
6 racks.
What does that mean again?
6 bills. $600, guys.
$600? What a coincidence! That's exactly how much you need, right, Steve?
Okay, we'll do it.
All right, you get your payment from Frank. See you chumps later.
Okay. See you later.
Oh, man. This day just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, the money's awesome, but we really gotta stop selling our soul.
I think we gotta call Rick. We don't have any other choice but to give his producer friend a try.
Edwin's on here. Smash Mouth! I'm actually pretty excited to play this gig.